All right, it is day one of our brand new training called to coach. I'm so excited that you are here in the room, that you are ready to break into the $1 billion coaching industry. We need to get this party started. I have brand new training for you. And if we don't know each other, my name is Dr. Shannon Irvin, and I help coaches build profitable coaching businesses. And I'm going to break down things that I've never shared before, what's kind of working now versus even a few years ago that could catapult you to the front of the line, whether you're just considering becoming a coach or you've been coaching for a while and it hasn't quite worked out the way that you've wanted it to. We're going to break down every step you need to know. So who's excited about today's training? I'm super excited to have you in the room. This is my favorite thing in the world to do, is work with you as coaches, get you profitable, get you the freedom, the income, and the impact that I know you want to create. So I am going to put on my glasses so I can read. And Instagram, jump over to the live training. It's over. If you can see the link up above, you can join the training. I'm going to have to end Instagram right now. We're going to dive in deep. I'll keep you going for a little while, but I want to have you come over to the main training room so that you don't miss anything. Just to lay the land out, in this Call to Coach training, I created for you a 3-part training series where I'm going to break down the 3 big pillars to moving your coaching business from a hobby, an idea, and a dream to a 9-to-5, giving the termination and saying, I am on my own now. I have 10K months and I am good to go. So that is my vision for you for this 3-day free live training. So I want you to put it in your calendar. Today's day one. We're going to be really deep diving into who are you as a coach? How do you uncover that perfect niche and that perfect client? Once we have that uncovered, there's a few more pillars of that we're going to talk about today. We're going to workshop that together today. And then day 2 of the live free training is on Monday. You don't want to miss it, because if you know who you are as a coach, you know who you're coaching and you know the perfect client, but you do not know how to find them, that is a problem. Would you agree? So on Monday, we're going to deep dive into our client attraction system. We're going to give you all 3 pillars of that. How do you find them? How do you serve them? And how do you coach them? And then on Wednesday next week, which is the 21st, I believe, will be the 3rd and final day of the free training. And that is when I'm going to teach you how to convert those followers into actual high-paying clients and put that on automation. Each of these are pillars that do not work unless you have all 3 pieces of the puzzle together. So that's what I'm going to be doing with you on today, on Monday, and on Wednesday. So make sure that you put all 3 days of those trainings in there. All right. Tori, if you could let me know that I see you got everybody tagged. Just let me know you can hear me and see me fine. Instagram, I'm going to let you go. Make sure you jump over there and get in the room. It's going to be an amazing training over the next 3 days. Say bye, everybody. All right. So let's dive in to day one. If we don't know each other, I said at the top, my name is Dr. Shannon Irvin. I want to ask you a question. By the way, I am a person of faith, and I do what I call a lot of entrepreneur church. As you're getting to know me, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. This training, this time together is not for me. It is for you. I want to move the needle in this live free training. Okay. So I need to know who you are and exactly what it is that you are doing, whether you're just getting started as a coach. Maybe you haven't even declared, I want to become a coach, but you really want to, you know, step into your calling, live your full potential, and really help people. So in the chat, I need to know your name, who you are, where you're from, and if you're just getting started, say that. Or if you've been a coach but the traction has been an issue for you, then let me know. Say, I'm an OG coach but want to get some traction. I want you to do that first so that we get used to talking to each other, and then I'm going to break down a little bit about what you're going to learn over the next little bit, and we'll get going. So I see Erica's in the room. She's a Christian life coach, just getting started, spanking new. I love it. I love that you're new, because you're going to learn these pillars in doing it the right way. So you will literally save years of struggle, strain, and stress. So I'm excited for you about that. I believe that it's super, super important. Building clientele. Oh, and by the way, if you did not give StreamYard the ability to know your name, I don't know who you are. And I want to know who you are, because I'm here for you. So if for some reason that's important to you that you didn't do that, just please put your name at the end of your comments, because I won't know who you are and I want to. Donna, good to see you. Linda, good to see you. Let me see. Carolyn, UK, a restart as a coach. That's a therapist, by the way. I have that background, so I totally get it. Darren's just getting started. Thank you, Darren, for that. Melissa is in the room, just getting started. No clients, great place to be. You are in the right place if that's what you're doing. Jane, Lillian's here. Good to see you, Lillian. Linnell is in the room. Financial coach. Okay, very good, Jane. Deb is transitioning from a hobby to a business. Can I get an amen for transitioning from a hobby to a business? And Tori, I'm just going to ask you one more favor, just so I don't have to lose my focus on the room. Could you mention to Lindsay and Sam to just double check, keep, and make sure that all the announcements did go out, because I want to make sure nobody is left behind as we're getting started. And I know we have thousands that signed up for this. So if you don't mind doing that, that would be great. Marcy, good to see you. She coaches moms through that transition of their kids. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so I want to dive in, and I have one question to get us started. Why do you want to coach? Tell me in the chat, what is it about coaching that is drawing you? What is it about coaching or becoming a coach, becoming an online coach? We're going to dive into the state of the industry, why I believe this is the best career ever, and really what you can create once you know the pillars that we're going to uncover here today. But I want to know from you, what is it that makes you want to become a coach? What is it that makes you want to become a coach? I see you, Shannon. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so, and I don't know who you are because I don't have your name there, but I want to help people live their best lives. Erica says, God has given me so much experience and a gift. I love that you see it as a gift, connecting people, and it's not to be wasted. Absolutely. I love that so much, Erica. I love that so much. And again, I can't see your name, so it just says Facebook user, but I love helping people walking out their calling and their purpose. I love this. And again, just tell me, put your name at the end. I do it in the classroom and as a swim instructor, so needed among our young adults. It's so, so true, right? So, so true. Marcy is saying she just wants to give moms what I needed. Oh, I love this. You are in. That's so positive, so important to ground yourself in what is calling you. And there is no better feeling than helping people overcome their obstacles in life, right? To experience a transformation with what you coach around, money, mindset, and management. I'm going to just put a couple more of these. Lucia says, I want to help other domestic abuse survivors find their clarity and freedom. Imagine that not getting out to the world. Lucia, you are so needed as a coach. I don't know who you are. Please put your names at the end if you didn't give StreamYard access, but you love to serve women over 40, help find their purpose and look after like what's next. I love that so much. And Melissa says she wants to see chronic health issues help folks take charge of their health and their stewardship, right? And then Lillian Small, who's been in our community, wants to teach women how to get started on keto to become healthier. Love it. I love it. I love it so much. All right. So I want to share with you a few things that are going to be very, very exciting. I'm curious for you to answer this in the chat. How safe, stable, and growing do you think the coaching industry is online? I'd love to get your take of your perception of that. Like, do you think it's a growing industry? Do you think it's staying status quo? Do you think it's failing along with a lot of the industries that are going into like an economic downturn? What is your thought on the state of the billion-dollar coaching industry right now? Do you think it's growing? Do you think it's big? Are you seeing? And here's the great thing to know. This is what I want you to picture. Even though 5% make it to that 7-figure mark of coaches, that's exactly why I'm doing this training, because the state of the industry has grown over 20% in the last 3 months, when everything else is shrinking, when everything else seems to be, if you watch the news, and I just pray you don't, but it seems to be always bad news. The coaching industry, however, has been month over month up in the last 3 months over 20%. I'm asking you why you think that is. Why do you think that the coaching industry of all the industries would be up right now? What is it about coaching that people are being drawn to right now? And I just want to bring this up. We have a workbook for this 3-day event. Make sure you get it. You go to drshannonirvin.com/coach workbook. I'm going to be showing you that here in a minute. Make sure you get that. Make sure you get that. Do you think it's saturated? Oh, that is such a great question. Who else is worried that they feel like there's so many coaches? I'm not sure. It's just so saturated, right? It's really, really saturated. I can tell you the fact that there are a lot of coaches means there's a lot of demand, a lot of pent up demand, and they're waiting for people who know how to coach the right way. And I love what Marcy said. People need actionable, hopeful movement, right? Hopeful movement. People are feeling stuck and they have a lot of questions in their mind. And when people feel stuck and when there is news around that it's not going well, that's when people move. That's when people move. Now, I want to share with you why I believe, and the industry is showing it, that this is the best career ever. And here's what I mean by that. I'm going to show you these 3 key levers that are important, that through the process of these 3 days, I'm going to be showing you how to access. And I just want to know in the chat, when I talk about these 3 reasons why it's the best career ever, I want to know from you which one of these are important. So unlike a 9-to-5, where we're really serving somebody else's dreams, somebody else's vision, somebody else's calling, where there's limited income, where you get very few actual raises that actually create any kind of impact in your family, where year over year you might be busting your butt, but yet the promotions seem to be pretty linear. The reason that the coaching industry online is the best career ever is because we can coach anyone, anywhere, anytime, which means it leads us to limitless income, limitless impact, which all of you said that you really, really wanted, and limitless freedom from where you want to be. Like being at the soccer game that your daughter is having and not sitting in an office creating someone else's dream. Can I get an amen to that? And that's exactly why I got in the coaching industry. I was running restaurants and I got out of the restaurant industry on my own, and I got out of the restaurant industry, and somebody asked me, could I tell them how I did what I did in my business? That's a question that's really, really important. Can you tell me how? That is the best question that you hear from people wanting to be coached. And for me, I was so tied to the brick and mortar business. And even though I did open my own restaurant, I had to be there nearly 24/7, which meant I was missing time, family gatherings. My daughter, my son were growing up, and I was missing things that they were doing. I was missing performances. I was missing things that they were having going on because mom was at work. I'm wondering, what are you missing because you haven't tapped into this best career ever? What are you missing? I'm just curious in the chat. What is it that you would like to be at, that you, whether it's freedom or income or impact, what would you like to unleash? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. I'm going to pause and just wait for you to tell me. Tell me what you're wanting to create. What have you been missing? So let's be specific. Like, what do you wish you could be at and be there fully focused for? What do you wish that you didn't miss out on? Where did you want to be that you couldn't be because you were in a 9 to 5? Where is the places, the vacations, the parties, the events that you have had to miss because you are working on someone else's calling and on someone else's dream? Yeah, it was the same for me. More time with my kids, right? It's, having the flexibility to be where you want. For your grandkids, right? Travel anywhere. I love this, Erica. Honestly, income feels like justified from being away from my kids. Yeah, that's exactly where I was. I love it. Lillian's like, I want to be on a cruise and be able to help people. I want to end my day being satisfied with my work, knowing I can pay the bills and engage fully with my kids. Yes and amen. Because the key here to knowing how to tap into this billion-dollar industry that's growing 20% year over year, that allows you to take the cap, that glass ceiling that's above you when you're in a 9 to 5, to literally lift that lid and be able to grow as big as you want to impact people as much as you possibly want to. And as I started taking one client and then taking two, and then by word of mouth, taking a few more and realizing, oh my gosh, and I'm going to break down this formula of how do I leave my 9 to 5 in a super secret session. So stay tuned for that. But this is what started to unpack for me. I started to be able to close up shop at 2 p.m. and go watch my daughter's soccer practice. What is it you cannot wait to be able to see at, be at, experience, because you've created all your potential? And here's what I want to ask before I dive into the key thing we're going to train on today is, how many things have you missed out on because you have been chained to serving someone else's vision and mission? And how hard is that? It's so frustrating being stuck in that like dead end job with that limited income and limited potential, and not living that God-given calling that you are put on the planet to do. And I believe leaving your potential untapped. And honestly, I'm just going to be honest here. just being afraid, what if I'm it's like stuck here forever? Have you had that thought? Like, what if this is where I am stuck forever? Just, yeah, I love that you said that. It just steals your soul and your spirit. Steals your soul and your spirit. Right. So I want to share with you how we can unpack this best career ever and help you tap into the $1 billion industry in a very simple and systematic step. So I'm going to share an image here that is the pillars that we're going to be going over in the next few days of training together. So let me get that up and running so you can see it. And this is, let me see here. Let me try that again. You should have this copy now. And Tori, if you could pop the link into the chat. This is the workbook. But I am going to jump over here and share this with you. So hang on one second. I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger, not to go sideways though. All right, there we go. Now you can see that a little better. Okay, so this is what we're going to be diving into today. And look, if you can see in the center there, my biggest focus for you is to scale. And I'm still here, so I want to bring that back up. Now, in order to scale, the things that we're really wanting to get at there is the money that comes from scaling, the meaning or the impact that comes from scaling, and the freedom, location freedom, time freedom that comes from scaling. So those three key things are really what we're going after to have a life that not just impacts others, but impacts your inner circle. And here's the thing. I don't know. Tell me in the chat who has kids or people that you're supporting or people that are watching you. People that are watching what you're doing and they're learning from you and you're impacting and you're influencing them. Say kids or people, if there are people in your life they're watching you, right? They're seeing what you're doing and seeing if it's possible, right? Seeing if it's possible. Say me in the chat if that is you. Yeah, kids, grandkids, nieces, daughter, nephews, right? We have people, young adult kiddos, right? And here's the thing. As people of influence, whether it's our own children or other people's or people in our church, it's not what we say that matters. They're watching what we do. They're watching, our kids are watching, not if we say, is it all possible? It's possible. Do anything you want to do, be anything you want to be. But are you? Are you doing what God called you to do? Are you stepping into your full potential? Are you showing that there is the ability to make limitless income and create a life of impact for orphans in Uganda or whatever matters most to you? Are you showing them that meaning that your life can really impact others? They're watching what we do, right? And when you create this, tap into this $1 billion industry and create the best career ever, and you scale, that creates this freedom that shows the people that matter most to us that it is possible. That yes, I can have a massive impact in the world, and I can have the freedom to do that from wherever I want and be with the people that matter most. And I don't have to sacrifice, and this is going to sting a little, but I don't have to sacrifice what matters most just for money. Trading time for dollars. Because let's be real, like the real thing here isn't making more money. It's what making more money will allow you to be able to do with your time. And as they're watching us, as they're seeing us, observing what we're doing, are we sharing to them that they have limitless potential because we're stepping into that limitless potential? Are we sharing that we have a calling and we should follow that calling that God has put on our heart, the desires of our heart? Or are we sharing them that we should stay safe in the 9 to 5? And I'm saying this because as we found out over the last little bit, 9 to 5 isn't so safe when we're following and serving and a master to someone else's dream and vision and calling. And I believe if you're on this training, we're going to get into some steps here now, but if you're on this training, it's time for you to allow yourself to access the money, the meaning, and the freedom so that you can shift the legacy, so that you can shift the generations, so that what becomes possible in your line, in your family, literally like it was going this way until you, and then it starts going this way. Can I get an amen in the chat for that? Can I get a heck yes in the chat for that? Like, we're going to dive into the nitty gritty of how do you do this? How do you build it? I'm going to come back over here and get this a little bit smaller, but we're going to dive into this. Now, this whole workbook is in there for you with all the steps, and we're going to walk through it together. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about these pillars, we got to be done being stuck in a dead-end job. We got to be done with limited income potential being capped. And we've got to be done not living the calling that God has put you on the planet to do, leaving your potential untapped. And honestly, making that hamster wheel something that you choose to get on every single day. I want you to be done. And I want you to tap into this industry because I believe the best move or the next move of God is going to be in the coaching industry. And if you do not step in and learn how to coach, how to get clients, how to convert those clients and automate that process, then I don't believe that God will use you in that way. I feel like He is anointing this profession. I am a believer and I will speak from that place. I believe God says, I put the desire in your heart. I gave you a future and a hope to prosper you, to bless you, not so that you could hoard it all, but so that you could literally shift your generational line, give glory to God, and bring people results, right? Heck yes, amen. If you are done with living those frustrating things and it's time to step into this pillar of money, meaning, and freedom, so that you show your people, the people that matter most to you, what's possible because you have stepped into what's possible. Remember, they are not listening. They're watching. And you know, you've had this desire for a long time, haven't you? Tell me how long it's been since you've had this idea that maybe God would use you to become a coach. Maybe you could help people get through something faster, easier, and get results. How many years, how many months, how long has it been since you've had this first spark of an idea to today? Yeah, look at this, 7 years, Erica. I get you. Years, 7 years, right? Why is that so? Well, I can tell you that the enemy of your soul wants to see you not do this. I love this. I've always felt that I've had a greater mission. That's why it's so frustrating that I haven't. And that's why you're here today. So I'm so excited for you. Here's the thing. I've always been a cheerleader. Cheerleaders make the best coaches. I'm just telling you. So whether it's been 2 months or 10 years, or it stops and starts and stops and starts, Martha, I get it. These pillars, you will know when you leave this live free training, you will know exactly what to do. Now, full disclosure, if you can't tell, I'm fairly passionate about a couple things. Training you on how to build a coaching business, not a hobby, teaching you to coach the right way. We're going to talk about that throughout the whole entire training because, yes, there is a right and wrong way to coach. And if you decide who you're going to coach and you get the clients, you're going to have a hard time keeping them if you don't know how to coach. And we're going to dive into these pillars. Here's the thing. Don't let this be just another training. Have the right heart posture where you don't tell yourself, oh, I know this, I know this, I know this. Let me tell you, 9 months it took me to go take these pillars and go from zero to a 7-figure business once I finally got started. But it was years before I finally got started. And if I have one regret, it's that I didn't do it sooner. And so we're going to break this down, these 9 pillars over the next 3 days training. We're going to focus in that first pillar today, the coach pillar. Who are you as a coach? Who are you? Who's your perfect client as a coach? And let me tell you how you coach matters, because I can tell you right now, most people are coaching in a broken coaching model. So we're also going to, now I could hurry this up. Can we get started? But you might know that, like, knowing the foundation is important. Now I could teach you all that, but you also need to know how to do the clients. Don't worry. That's what we're going to do on Monday. So Monday, I'm going to teach you how to identify that ideal client, how to attract them. I have a very specific client attraction system that we're going to go through, and how to connect with them so they become your raving fans. And then Wednesday next week, we're going to go to the convert and automate pillar. How do I create an amazing offer, and how do I close that offer, which creates raving fans that I retain year after year after year, creating residual income that I can count on. 10K months, 20K months, 30K months. And so these are the 3 pillars that we're going to be headed into over the next 3 days. And I just need you to know what we go over today. If you know everything we learned today, but you don't know how to attract the clients, it's going to fall short. If you know those 2 things and don't convert and automate, then you're not going to have any sales. And if you don't know how to coach the right way, you will not have a coaching business. Every one of these steps will break your business. And that's why I'm breaking it up over 3 days so that we deep dive into these. So if you're ready to go, we're going to dive into circle number 1. And the main focus today on circle number 1 is, who are you as a coach and who is that right person? So I'm going to go ahead and remove this, and we're going to dive in. If you're ready, because I don't want you in friend zones anymore. I want you to have bold confidence too. I want you to tell me, I'm ready. If you're ready to actually build this coaching business, we're going to workshop now. I'm going to dive into getting you to understand what bucket of coaching you should be in, who you should be coaching, and we're going to have some homework. Now, as you're saying, I'm ready, I want to let you know about something. If you didn't notice in the schedule, there is an option to join VIP. What we're doing in the live free trainings together are all the pillars. What we're doing in VIP is actually breaking them down, answering questions, and coming out with a roadmap for each 3 days. So the VIP starts tomorrow, and it's in between each training day. You're going to want to go to upleveltovip.com. That's where we're going to be in a Zoom room together. You're going to take what you've learned in this live free training, and we're going to workshop and do application so you have it done and ready to go. Does that make sense? So if you want that opportunity to be in that VIP room, ask me questions, be able to get my thoughts and help you really define that niche perfect client, and really know that you are on the right track of what kind of coach you're going to be, then get into that VIP room so that we can do that together. That's going to be a powerful application call. All right. So today we're going to be focusing on that first pillar, and only one of those pieces of the puzzle, which I believe is the vital starting point, is, who are you as a coach? So we're going to write down these 3 things, and we're going to workshop these today because it's very important. No one is talking about this. And if I would have known this, it would have saved me years of struggling, trying to know who I was and who I coached, right? So we're going to start out with the 3 keys to knowing who you are and who you coach. So, number one, I need you to define your coaching bucket. So, on your workbook or in your notebook, I want you to write down my coaching bucket. There are 3 buckets that you need to fall into for people to pay you to coach. No one is saying this. And unfortunately, so many coaches make this mistake. They come on and become very generalist. I want to help people. And I've seen a few of these. So don't be offended if I say yours. Like, I want to people know their calling, or I want to help people with productivity, or I want to help people, these big giant buckets. Okay. So here's the 3 things, the 3 buckets that people will buy. Are you ready? And I'm going to write them down for you in the chat. Tori will. So number one, the first bucket is making money. This is income growth, career growth, anything that will help someone go from where they are to more money. So for an example, maybe a real estate coach that's helping you buy real estate and invest in a real estate type thing. Possibly it's a business coach. Possibly it's somebody who's helping multi-level marketing grow their multi-level marketing. Maybe it's a social media coach, but the end game for them is to grow social media so that they grow their business. So the first bucket is money. Does that make sense? Tell me in the chat. Yes, I get it. I get it. It's money. So number one's money. Number two is relationships. So relationships, whether it's a marriage coach, a career coach. So now a career coach kind of falls in both money and relationships, because to grow your career, which means growing your income, you have to grow your relationships, which means growing your bosses, connections, how you get along, that kind of thing. There's also coaches. Some of you are coaches that fall in this bucket because you help people as they transition with their kids. That's a relationship bucket. Marriages, kids, friendships, those kind of things. How creating a relationship, dating coach is another one. Even personal development coaches technically fall in this bucket. Why? Because they're helping you with a relationship of you, right? So our 67-day year coaching program, getting a year's worth of goals in 67 days, it falls into both money and relationship bucket, because it's a relationship with you and it's also growing your money. So we've got in the coaching buckets, it's money, relationships, and the third big bucket, overwhelming bucket, is health. Are you a health coach? Are you getting somebody a health result? Are you a keto coach? Are you a flexibility coach? Are you you're helping someone get some type of health result? Now, you're hearing me use that word a lot again, and I see a lot of marketers marketing to coaches. And can I just tell you that you are not selling a product? So if you've been learning how to grow a coaching business, but from online marketers and podcasts, they're teaching you how to sell a widget, an iPhone, a product. Coaches do this differently. Now, Monday, I'll dive into how do they do that differently. I want to stay on topic today, but know that, like, if you've been learning from marketing gurus, they're teaching you funnels and different things like that. Unfortunately, that actually repels coaching clients. We'll talk about that on Monday. Today, I want to get you in one of these buckets, because this, we know from all the advertising, the Super Bowl advertising, if you start watching ads and the things that you get in mailers, you will notice that every one falls in one of these buckets or multiple of these buckets. So I want you to stop for a second. I want you to ask yourself, which one of these buckets do you feel that you will help people? We'll get to who next, but that you can help people get results in. I want you to pick your bucket. So take a moment and tell me in the chat, and let me help you workshop this a little bit. I know somebody on here said, I would love helping people identify their calling. So if you want to figure out where's the bucket, say this to yourself. I want to help them figure out their calling This is the key word. So that what? Once they know their calling, so that what? Are they able to create an extra income for themselves? Are they able to step into a new career? That would be in the money bucket. If it's so that they get along better with their families, that they have great relationships with their kids and their spouse, that would fall in the relationship buckets. Is it so that they prioritize themselves and take care of themselves and live the best second half of their life in their health and their body? That would fall on the health side. So which bucket or buckets do you believe right now? And by the way, in VIP, we will workshop this. So if you're in any way questioning, we can do that. But tell me in the chat what your bucket is. So this is a very important step, because most online coaches that won't be part of that 5% that make it don't do this. We're all big-hearted people, and so what we do is we're like, I want to help everybody, and I want to help them with these big kind of broad stroke productivity, calling, those things. And although they're good, what people buy is results. They get a coach not because they want to be coached. No one wants a coach. Wait, you just said this is the best career ever. Now you're telling me, Shannon, that no one wants a coach? Yeah, no one wants a coach. What they want is results. And so these buckets really matter. Tori, I really would like for you to remove her. So all three, if I can convey it through messaging. Okay, and is there a lead bucket for you? So I see that you said health, mind, body transformation, right? Okay, making money by focusing most important asset, self. But so they're focusing on self so that they make more money. Relationships, right? Relationships. Yeah, very good. What else? What else? What bucket do you believe you will get results in? And here's where you get a clue. What have you gone through that you've gotten results in? Have you overcome an obstacle that's making you want to coach? Have you been through something and now have a process that can help people? What is it that you've gone through that you know you can help people with? Those are results that you can coach through. So what else is it? I can help make money, right? What else? So tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat, what is the bucket that you're starting with? Because if we don't start with this bucket and we start to define your niche, then it might look great on a business card or when you're talking to somebody, telling them what you do, but it's not going to actually let anybody hear you. At the end of the day, people are wanting results in their money, results with their relationships, results with their health. So I want you to pick that bucket right now. And if you're on the fence, right on the fence, right on the fence. If you're on the fence, right on the fence. Does that make sense? All right, so relationship. You're helping men recover from midlife crisis. Okay, so I'm going to challenge you with that one. Amazing. So that's in kind of a relationship to themselves. So I can see it being in the relationship bucket. But why do they want to recover from midlife crisis? Are they wanting income? Are they wanting better relationships? I think it probably falls in that bucket. Is it their health? Right? And I love this one. I can help them have a better relationships with themselves and creativity and make the decision to chase a career. So it's the money bucket. So see how that is? It's relationship and money, relationship with themselves and money, right? All right. So Christy says she's a coach of executive teams that were not cohesive and competitive soccer for years. I've coached friends on personal perception to get a mindset. All right. So Christy, are you wondering like which bucket you want to coach in? Because you've coached competitive soccer and you've coached teams. So teams is relationship and money. Soccer is in the health. Soccer, if they're competitive soccer, that's different. You're teaching them, that's technically their currency, right? If they're competitive, they're moving toward that. So if the soccer is a field you want to get into and being a coach there, and you've coached applicants after a horrible interview. So an interview coach would fall in the money bucket, right? Would fall in the money bucket. So bucket, step number 1, choose the bucket. So step number 2, to uncover your coaching niche, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. So grab your notes, grab your workbook, and I want you to answer these 3 questions, because this is going to help you uncover really who is it that you want to coach. And I call it the 3 W's. So what have you been through? Now, not currently going through. I always say we coach from the scar, not the wound, right? So what have you been through? What mess has become your mission? What mess is going to actually help people get through, right? So what have you been through? What have you accomplished? And what are you passionate about? So what have you been through? What have you accomplished? And what are you passionate about? So let's look at these 3 questions. I just put them in the chat and spend some time specifically on this. You're welcome. Got it? So what have you been through? What have you accomplished? And what are you passionate about? This is going to be the beacon that really shares in your mind what types of coach you should be. So if it's in the relationship bucket, you can look through that lens. And the formula, which is number 3, to really becoming known is what bucket is it in? What niche is it in? So it's bucket plus niche plus the result you're going to get them. Helps you get known. So here's what I want you to do. First of all, you've decided your coaching bucket. Second of all, I want you to post in the chat, what niche do you believe you're going to coach? And if you've already been coaching, just write your coaching niche. Now in VIP, I'm going to show you a process called micro niching, where I'm going to take where you are here with your bucket, your niche, and your results, and turn that into a funnel that allows people to cut through the noise of the marketplace and really hear you as the go-to expert. So that's what we'll do in VIP tomorrow. So the formula here is bucket plus your niche plus the results you're going to get them equals being known. So in the chat, tell me what you've already told me your bucket. Now, what is it that either you've been through that you're going to coach around, that you've accomplished that you're going to coach around, or that you're passionate about? People are asking you about it already. They're already kind of coming to you and asking you about it. So let me know that in the chat. Just look in there. Step number 2, what have you been through? Yep. So what have you been through? What have you accomplished? And what are you passionate about? So Erica said, college graduates new to work and transition workers into a new industry. I love that. Now, is that something, a lot of times it's the trifecta for us, right? We've been through it, we've accomplished something, and we're passionate about it. That's when you know you've kind of gotten to that perfect center of the niche that's right for you. Now, we need to micro niche it down. We need to really get it clear, which we'll do in VIP. But I love college graduates new to work and transition workers into a new industry. So that hits money big time. You'll be in the relationship a little bit because you'll be coaching them on leadership and presentation and that kind of thing. Very, very good. Passionate about coaching to the underprivileged. All right. Now I'm going to be honest here, and this, don't hate me for what I'm about to say, but this is a mistake I see a lot of struggling coaches make, is the underprivileged. You've got to, here's a great example. I had a coach once and she's like, I'm going to coach teenagers that have just turned 13 on to how to have self-confidence. And here's the problem with that. Teenagers are broke. Teenagers are broke. So she was focusing on her messaging going toward the teenager buying. And it's not the teenager that would be buying that, is it? It's the parent. So when she shifted over to the person who could pay, then she scaled to 6 and then on to 7 figures. Does that make sense? So sometimes we got to look at who our passion is. Like I have a passion for AIDS orphans in Uganda. We started a charity there over 19 years ago. We say I started when I was 5, and that's not true. And I love it, but I can't coach them. I can do that for a ministry. I can do that for my generosity, my gratitude, and and do that. But I actually need to coach people who are looking for one of those 3 buckets of improvement. Does that make sense? So I'm going to pull a couple more up. Erica's saying, I living an organized and intentional life as a mom, businesswoman, and Christian, balancing the life demands, laser focus on self-care. So now I'm seeing a lot. I want you in VIP, Erica, because I'm seeing how we got to take this big broad stroke. She needs it all. I get it. Just like me, just like you, but how do we really line it into, we know she's a Christian mom, businesswoman, and we know her life is unorganized, and she's not balanced, and she's not focused, and she's not taking care of herself. So we know those are our pains, right? So we get to focus in on getting her in the best relationship with herself, getting her in the best relationship with her career. And we can deep dive into micro niching that down so that you can really speak to her clearly. But I think your niche is there. You know your people. You know your people. So I love this. Women over 50, gaining balance, flexibility, and strength. Results, current students. I love it. So clearly in the health bucket, very, very clear. So here's one: prioritize my creativity and dedicated myself to it as a craft. Answered the call to serve through it. So you're coaching creatives how to master their craft, which could create an income. So we got to determine which bucket we're going to be in there. Is it going to be relationship fulfillment to yourself as a hobby, or is it going to be dedication to a craft so that it becomes an income? So I would play with that a little bit. Teen mom, I love it. The Marcy, lots of conflict with my kids. Found out that my own growth helps my kids too. Can I get an amen? Built back trust with them. I want to help Christian moms do the same. Very, very solid. I see it. I can see it's all in that relationship bucket. Super powerful. Single parenting, overwhelm, finding balance and never giving up. Jessica, I love that so much. Clearly in the relationship bucket. And I see it becoming also potential to move into the money bucket too, because once they don't give up, they get their dream. And maybe the 2.0 coaching business for you becomes helping them do that. Very, very good. All right. So you guys are getting it. You guys are getting it. And those of you in VIP will go even deeper. So number 1, you got to know your coaching bucket. Number 2, you got to uncover your coaching niche. So all 600 of you that are live right now, I want you to write in the chat, what's your bucket? What's your niche? What's your bucket? What's your niche? I want you to get in the practice of embodying ownership over your coaching business, because we can't move to client acquisition and attraction or converting sales and putting automation into where you have a 10K, 20K months until we have ownership over this. Right? So remember, it's bucket plus your niche plus the result you're getting allows you to be heard and known in the marketplace. Allows you to be heard and known in the marketplace. So I want you to do that. I want you to add your bucket. And this is going to be homework for tonight too. So I'm going to share it over here. I want to see it in this way. What's your bucket? What's your niche? And what results are you going to get them? Guys, lean in with me. I love you so much. And I know you want to change the world. And I know you want to help everybody. But I need you to hear, for a coaching business to become not a hobby and not a ministry. It can be a ministry too. But to make it become a business, we've got to get people results. So if I can get your mind thinking on what is the bucket, what is my niche, and what result, I know you're going to get multiple results, but what is the most important result they want, not you want? And we're going to dive into that over Monday and Wednesday, the difference of what do we talk about before they say yes to your coaching versus what do we talk about after they're in your coaching, because we're all big-hearted and we want to do all of it up front, and they actually really need to be hearing the result that they already want, that they already want. Does that make sense? All right, so I see relationship with self. This is a great one. Retired female online business owners, what is the result that you're going to get them? All right, menopausal dieters, to get a healthy relationship with food in their body. And I want you to answer this question. This is going to get it a little bit stronger, so that fill in the blank. So I know who your people are. Menopausal, get healthy relationship with food, so that what happens when they get a healthy relationship with food in their bodies? What's the result that comes from that? Okay, so really, really good. I love these. So let me see here. Midlife crisis. Okay, good. So men's midlife crisis, they recover their health and their relationships and their finance and their purpose. What is now there's a lot there. My health, my relationships, my finance. There's three. So clearly you're in all three buckets. But what is the driving bucket that they want results in right now? What's hurting them the most right now? We will lead with that. Does that make sense? Nope, VIP session is tomorrow. I did them on separate days so you can process this, do your homework. All right, here was the result. Let me plus that there. Oop, it's not that one. The result is they live a purposeful, meaningful life of impact. Okay, that is general. That is general. They're either wanting to not be struggling in their income, not be struggling in the relationships, or not be struggling in their health. One of those three is causing the most pain. And I want you to really look at who is that, which one is the most painful. So here's the result. Work, money, career happiness, promotion. Very clear, Erica. That is the result. So bucket plus niche plus this result. Very good. Now we can work with, how do I find your clients now that it's that clear, because it will cut through the noise. Write noise in the chat if the online space feels a little bit saturated and noisy. That's why today's pillar is so vital, that you walk away and even dive deeper in VIP, knowing exactly who you are, exactly who you coach, and exactly what result you will get for them in your coaching. Again, this is not your avatar. The avatar trainings don't sell coaching. It's just a crazy exercise. It depends on the person. All right. So single parenting, women conquering being productive while caring for themselves. So their number one desire, Jessica, their pain, the thing that keeps them up at night is what? Tell me that in the chat. Is this a result? Marcy asks. Mom who will know she did it all because she could build a good relationship. Yeah, it's getting there. So we'll deep dive more in VIP if you're in there. So it's the mom that, because she has good relationships, like she has built relationship credibility, and both work and at home. So when she's home, she can be present, and when she's work, she can conquer it. Like I would move in that direction, but we can talk about that. So Lillian's women over 50 to do keto, to look better, and to be healthier. So Lillian, when your people put their head on the pillow at night, the pain that they feel is that they look bad and they're unhealthy. Yes? Is there anything more painful? I hear that. It looks right. So it looks good. So I see a lot of you are saying it's noise, it's noise, it's noise, right? It's a lot of noise. So fear of the unknown. Interesting. Fear of the unknown. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. All right. So today, really, I want to wrap up with this key thing that I want you to spend time in the workbook around, these three key levers to knowing who you are and who you serve, so that you can become known. Now, VIP will go into micro niching. You'll be able to ask specific questions, and we'll really dive into getting it so solid that when you start to speak out in the marketplace, that they literally are attracted to you. Like, I'm living in Texas now, so it's like, what, mosquitoes to a light? I'm not sure. But here's the thing. Do you see how each of these pillars really are connected? You can know all of what we did today, but you're not going to attract paying clients unless you know specifically how to say it so they hear you. So on Monday, we're going to dive deep into the client attraction system that we use, that I use to get from my first client to my second to my 10th, and then scale to 7 figures and on. We're going to be showing you those exact steps. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to be deep diving into not just attracting them, but converting them into clients to create an automation system so that you have high ticket paying clients that are helping you get to 10K months and beyond. 10K months and beyond. That's where I want to get you to. And none of what we did today matters unless you add these pieces of the puzzle together. It's like my daughter was filling out this puzzle she had to do for her history class, and she had to do this puzzle and laminate it, the things that they make sixth graders do. And she couldn't find the one piece of the puzzle. It had fallen underneath the table and flipped over, so it was matching our carpet. And so she's going crazy because without that one piece of the puzzle, she couldn't actually make it work, and she couldn't turn it in and get results from it, get a grade from it. And that's what I see so many struggling coaches doing. They're out there telling people what kind of coach they are, but because they don't have the pillar of client acquisition and they don't have the convert and automate pillar, they're not being heard, they're not being seen, and that's why they're not making sales. So Monday and Wednesday are the days we're diving into those things. So what's up next? I want to kind of tell you what's going on. I talked about VIP, where we're going to be doing micro niching. That is tomorrow. Really, it's taking it from knowing what you know now to how do you get heard in the marketplace. So that's what we're going to be talking about in the VIP room. So up level to VIP is how you get into that. And then the homework tonight, I want you to go into the Unleashed Entrepreneur Facebook group. So if you're just here and you haven't joined that group, make sure you get into that room, because that's where all the extra trainings are going to be and the extra resources will be too. And I want you to practice, because as a coach, we have to become known. Do you agree? You can't be the best kept secret and actually sell a coaching business. So, right, I got to be known in the chat. I've got to be known. Like, now that I know my bucket and now I know my niche and now I know where the results, now I need to be known. Like, people need to know who I am so that I can get, acquire the leads and then convert them into sales and automate them. So we've got to be known. So tonight's homework, I'm going to challenge you in the Unleashed Entrepreneur Facebook group, where it's safe and it's a bunch of us that are growing our coaching businesses and supporting each other. I want you to jump into the group and either create a post or go live. We are going to be rewarding action takers. So tomorrow I'll be announcing some of winners that will win some really cool prizes that are the people who are taking the action. So I want you to I prefer you go live or post your bucket, your niche, and the result that you're going to get. And then my other action for you is to go and comment on other people's posts, at least 2, so that you can start to help each other gain that clarity and get really clear, so that when we get together on Monday and start talking about client attraction and acquisition, that we're really clear and we can be known in the marketplace. Makes sense? So VIPers, I'll see you tomorrow. And I will see you in the Unleashed Entrepreneur Facebook group for your homework. And make sure that you're back here on Monday. We give you some time to watch the replay. We have a replay page that all the trainings are going to be on. And Tori, if you don't mind popping that replay link in as well, that is going to be your Netflix for growing your coaching business. So all the replays will end up in this one replay page, and it will be there for you. It's going to take about 30, 45 minutes to get it up there. And that's going to be really, really powerful. So get in there, do your homework. We're going to reward fast action takers. Look, if you're serious about growing your coaching business, if you're not going to keep dabbling and keep a hobby, but you're ready to actually make sales and make sales enough to leave your 9 to 5, then I want you to play full out. I want you to not have the thought, I know all this. And I want you to have the thought, what if I applied all this? What if I started all this? What if I get into VIP and actually know it all and do it live and get in there and really start this weekend watching the replay again, being ready, and then finding out exactly how to find your ideal clients on Monday and how to convert them into paying clients and build a business that gets to 10K and above to replace your 9-to-5 income. Now, we're wrapped for today. I will see you again. VIPers, I'll see you tomorrow. So make sure you go to Up Level to VIP to be in that room. And we'll be back together on Monday to deep dive into client acquisition. And when I talk about client attraction, I mean, we have a 7-day process that if you start it, you follow it through in 7 days, 100% of my clients that have applied this have a client get on the call with them. Pretty powerful stuff. So we want to take you through the micro niching and VIP and then be ready to go on Monday. Make sure you do your homework so that we can reward those fast action takers. Now, I'm going to take a break, but I have a secret training coming up. Now, the secret training is not going to be in replay. This is something that we're going to edit out of the replay. We're going to delete from this video. So I'm going to take about 5 minutes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in for the super secret training. And I'm going to break down to you the 3 steps to transition out of your 9-to-5. What are the 3 things you must do? What's the formula? How do you know you're creating enough? How do you know that you can make it work? And how do you determine how many clients you need so that you have a plan for leaving your 9-to-5? I'm just curious, who in the room is in a 9-to-5 and you want to be able to transition out? And I don't recommend, by the way, that you just pull the ripcord and get into financial distress. So I want to show you this secret training where we really break down for you 3 simple steps, but it'll give you a blueprint on how do I know when it's the right time to jump and be a full-time coach versus just as I'm entering in. But I'm interested to know, like, who is in this ballpark and wanting to be done with their night. Say, I want to be done with 9-to-5, so I can see that. I love it, Marcy. I love it. Then this super secret training will be awesome for you too. So here's the wrap up. Make sure you have Monday, 12 p.m. for Called to Coach. We're going to be deep diving into the second pillar, how to attract the perfect client that you love working with, that you cannot wake up without being so excited. And there's such a super simple step-by-step process to having them hear you, having them know you, and then having them want to work with you. And that's what we're going to do on Monday's training next week. And then on Wednesday's training next week, we're going to transition from that to how to you convert those people into high-paying clients and how do you automate monthly coaching clients so that you have consistent, reliable, dependable monthly income that allows you to leave your 9-to-5, scale to 6 figures, on to 7 figures and beyond. So I'm very excited about that. So if you want to go deeper, up level to VIP, where we're going to workshop your specific bucket, your specific niche, and your specific perfect person, go to upleveltovip.com. The replay will be emailed out to you. And then don't miss the homework, because the homework is actually your application that will make Monday super powerful for you. So make sure you do that. All right. I'm going to take a bio break. I'm going to end this broadcast, but come right back in. I'm going to set up the broadcast to start for the super secret session on the 3 steps to leaving your 9-to-5. All right. If this training has been a powerful training, if you've learned something that you didn't know before, if you are finally getting some clarity, isn't clarity like so valuable that there's a process to knowing exactly what bucket, what niche, and what results? And if you feel that this has been a 10 out of 10 training, please tell me in the chat, because I know this is like, no, how do I get sales? I see some of the comments that are like, I know. You know what? If you knew, it would be applied already. So this is the powerful things that no one is teaching you out there, because they're teaching you marketing, sales, and acquisition of a product. And I don't want you to sell yourself as a product. I want you to sell your coaching as the answer to someone's problem. And that's Monday for you. Monday, we're going to deep dive. How do you do that? And Wednesday, we're going to give you that formula as well. Thank you. I'm glad it was a 10 out of 10. All right. Bio break, super secret training is coming up next. So basically, go get some water, do your own bio break, come right back, and we'll dive into the 3 steps that you need to analyze and know so that you can transition from part-time, first client, all the way through. See you later, 9 to 5. I got my own business and I'm doing fine. All right. I will see you. Those of you in VIP, I'll see you tomorrow. Those of you in super secret session, I'll see you in just a few minutes. And everyone else, I will see you Monday, 12 p.m. Central for the second pillar to tap into the $1 billion and growing coaching industry and have the best career ever. All right. Bye for now. See you in a few minutes.